What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. Back working on the 7.3 again in another video. Going to be showing you guys how to install a double DIN radio on a 99 to 05 Super Duty truck. I believe from 99 to 05 it should be all the exact same as what I'm about to show you. Beyond that point, it'll probably be pretty similar, but probably not the exact same. This is the third or fourth time I've done this on one of these trucks. Super simple. I'm going to show you guys what all it takes to get it done. Not a very hard project to do. I'm going to throw you guys on the head cam and we're just going to get right to it. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys can see all right. Like I was saying, we got a new Boss Audio radio. This is definitely a more budget option. I wasn't looking at break of the bank on this. I think it's around 160 bucks, but I think it will be a very nice upgrade over what's in there. The big thing with this is going with the capacitive touchscreen. That makes all the difference in the world, going with the capacitive touchscreen over the touch-sensitive touchscreen. It makes it so it's like, instead of it going off pressure, it works just like your phone, where it goes off the electricity in your hand and it feels like your phone screen. Makes it feel like a much nicer radio. And of course, being a modern radio, it's got all the fancy stuff: Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, so on and so forth. But this is the radio that we're going to be going in the truck today, or putting in the truck today. Should be a nice upgrade over factory. So the things you're going to want to get is obviously the new radio, and then you're going to want to get one of these adapters for these trucks. Here's the part number. I will link all this stuff down in the description below just for you guys. Along with this, you're going to want to get a double DIN install kit. There's already a double DIN in this truck that I'm going to be removing, so I think I'm going to try to use the same install kit there, but I will also link one in the description, one that I've used in my last previous trucks that I know works. So I will also link that down in the description. But as far as everything you need: radio, wiring harness adapter, so you're not cutting the factory wires inside the truck, it's just plug and play, and then the double DIN install kit. So I'm going to go collect the tools that I need to get this done, and we're going to jump right into it. So if you guys still have the factory radio installed in your truck, one thing that is going to be very handy is these loop or removal tools here. What they do, I don't have the factory radio, so I can't really show you guys, but you're going to have, if you're going to look at your factory radio, we'll use this as an example. If this is your factory radio here, you're going to have 2 holes there and 2 holes there. You're going to want to take these tools here and you'll slide them in, kind of pull out to the sides and pull the radio out. It can definitely get stuck in there if it's never been out. It might be a little bit of a pain. It's tricky, but you can reach up from by your fuel pedal and push from the backside. But if it's your factory radio and it's never been out, it might be a bit of a pain, and I would highly recommend picking up some of these. I'll see if I can find a link to these. I don't know how long ago I bought these, but I'll see if I can find a link to these tools that will help you guys out. Definitely handy if your radio's never been out. All right, so here in the truck, hopefully you guys can see all right. Like I said, I don't have the factory radio. If you do, the hose will be like there and there and there and there. Push those rods in, pull them out, and pull your radio out. It can be a little tricky, but you'll get it. For me, I am going to pull the radio out as is, which this one needs a little bit of adjustment, so I'm going to be doing that as well. It doesn't actually click all the way into place because it wasn't installed as well as it could have been, but it does make my life a little bit easier getting it out. So a little trick I found is pull your cup holders out, and that way when you bring the radio out, you can set it on there and then unplug all the wiring just like that. Factory radio, or the aftermarket radio, is out. When you guys remove your radio, you're going to see your antenna plug here and your factory plug there. That should be all that you see inside. This extra stuff is from the other radio. This is not your factory wiring that I'm cutting. This is aftermarket. This is for a subwoofer, and this is for a subwoofer. So you're not going to see either of those. You are just going to see these 2 plugs here. So with that, we got the radio out. And now what you're going to want to do in your truck is tuck these back inside, just out of the way for now. And then we're going to be removing this whole dash panel here. You're going to have plugs on the back side of your light switch there, so be cautious of that. And then you'll probably have a plug or two plugs here, one for your power port, one port for the airbag. So here on the side, I'll show you guys first. So a lot of times you can do this by hand. I have the tools, so I might as well use them. You're going to pop it free here. It's just held in by clips. Don't worry, that was already broken. Very common for those to break when people try to remove these. They try to just pull out on it, and that's not how they work. Work our way around. All right, so when you're pulling your light switch out, you can either come back here, undo the wiring there, or there's a little lever on the back that you can hit that I'll show you here. There's this little lever here that you can push in or detent, and that allows the whole switch mechanism to slide out, and then it's easier to get to the wiring. A lot of the time, the reason that these face plates get broken off is because people just try to pop it out without hitting this little switch, and you just pull the faceplate off. So unfortunately, the previous owner that had this truck did that. But little trick for you guys, so you guys know, you got a little switch right there that you can pop free, hit it, and then you can get to these switches much easier. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now the whole thing should be pretty free. The last plugs we have are back here. It is easier if you drop the shifter down out of the way, but here you guys can see, got the two plugs on this side. There's another plug here for your four-wheel drive selector if you have that. I do not, so this is just a dummy plug. All right, got the four-wheel drive selector unplugged, and now the last one is your cigarette lighter. All right, so quick recap here. You have your 12-volt port there, you have your airbag plug there, and then if you have the four-wheel drive selector, this will be plugged into that. For me, it was just put into this dummy slot here, and then you're going to have your two plugs on this side. But just like that, the dash is apart. All right, guys, so let me show you guys what needs to be done so you can fit a double din in here. This one has already been started. It was just kind of a poor job by the previous owner. You can see right in here that it's been cut and sanded a little bit. Same thing on the bottom down here, cut and sanded a little bit. So you can see how there's that little lip there and little lip there. That is normally the same on the top and bottom. So what you guys are going to want to do is trim or sand those completely flush, top and bottom, and that allows your double din to then slide in as it is. So you can see here, it's probably hard to see, but it's a very snug fit side to side, which is why I would recommend shaving these down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, clean up the previous owner's work, and then shave down the sides a little bit, and then I will catch up to you guys when it's time to prep the wiring harness for the new radio. All right, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I will definitely be buying my other mounting bracket. The one I link for you guys will cover these slots, and then this radio fits really nice top to bottom, so the mounting brackets themselves fill this void, so we should be good to go, but this will work for now. All right, guys, so now it is time to hook up the wiring harnesses. This is the adapter harness that we bought that plugs into the factory plug, and this is the harness that comes with the radio. You'll see on most of these radios that they have labeled wires for either sub inputs or camera inputs or whatnot. So you can just pull those off to the side, and then every time I've done one of these trucks, it's held true. But it is literally as simple as matching up the colors. A lot of them, especially the speakers, you'll have two different of the same color. So like on these green ones here, you will see a, you guys probably won't be able to see it very well, but there's a solid green and a green with a black stripe or black tracer. Same thing on this harness, you have a green with a green and a black tracer. So as far as putting these together go, it could not be more simple. Match the colors, match the tracers, and you should be totally good to go. Normally I would butt connector these, but I am all out of butt connectors in this size, so I'm going to do the tedious process of soldering it on. Technically probably better, but for a radio it's kind of overkill. Either way, I'm going to speed this up for you guys so you guys don't have to watch. I'm not going to walk through every single wire because it is as simple as matching colors. If I come into something that says otherwise, I will tell you guys, but for now, I'm going to get to work. And we're back. Alrighty guys, so back in the truck, obviously got the wiring harness all buttoned up and cleaned up and looking good. So this is the end that goes into the new radio. This is the end that goes into the factory harness, and then like I said before, this is the remote wire for the amplifier for the subwoofer. And then these are all extra wires. You got camera inputs. These are basically the extra wires you need for forward and reverse cameras, so not going to worry about those right now. But there it is, all buttoned up and looking pretty good. One thing I have run into, I actually tested this out before, so I have a little bit of learning on my end and some updated knowledge for you guys. So on this head unit and on a lot of head units, how they work is they're turned on to full brightness, and then when you turn on your running lights or your headlights, it will sense that, or is basically going to get the input that is dark outside, and when you turn that on, it will dim the head unit. That's how a lot of the factory stuff works, and so that's how I like it. It's really nice when it does that. It's not nearly as bright at night. So something I found, because these trucks, at least this truck being a 99, runs off a variable voltage system, that means that it doesn't actually get to 12 volts, and then as you dim it or brighten it here, it'll actually go from 2 to 10 volts. So let me show you guys that real quick. Illumination wire on this truck is the blue wire with the red stripe. So we're going to come in here from the back. Got that. And then we'll hook up our ground, which is right next to it. Alright, I think those are in all the way. So here you guys go. Hopefully you guys can see this all right. So that is sitting at 10 volts at full power, and as I dim it, you can see it drops all the way down to just over 2 volts. So that is giving me a little bit of issues with that function of the radio. Everything else works perfectly. Because the radio is expecting a 12 volt signal just on or off, that's not working quite right. It's flashing back and forth because it's not sure what to do. But I wanted to give you guys that bit of knowledge. I know there's some workarounds around it. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it yet. I might just end up putting in a relay and using that illumination wire as the trigger for the relay to supply 12 volts to that. But for now, it's not a huge deal to me, so I'm not going to worry about it. Another update is it's a couple days later, and we got the new mounting brackets in. So I'm going to quickly go through, take these mounting brackets off, put the ones on that I've been telling you guys about, and then we're going to wrap up this install. Alrighty guys, just like that, we got the new brackets installed. You can see that they are different and have these side flanges here that should help fill that gap. Everything should be good to go in. So let's see how these ones fit, because obviously I trimmed it based on those other ones. I think these will fit all right, but we will see. So we'll hook up the antenna back here. We will take our new adapter harness and plug it right in. We're going to take our subwoofer. Obviously, you guys probably may or may not have to deal with this, but we're going to plug that into the subwoofer spots, which most aftermarket radios have. And now the final connection is hooking up, which is right here. Make sure that clicks into place. And now we can tuck these tire wires away. And see how she fits. Nice. Perfect. That is much, much better. So let me show you guys the setting on here. I think you guys should be able to see it all right. So when I flip the switch, you can see it dims, but because it's getting the variable voltage, it's wanting to flash because it's just on the edge of being able to get that 12 volts. And when I lower the voltage down even more, it gets even worse. So I don't know if you guys can see that on camera or not. I think you should be able to. That's the only downside I've seen right now. What I'm going to do is I'll just go to the settings. Go to the settings in here. And then I can go to the display, illumination control, and I'll just turn that off for now until either I'll leave it like this or I'll find a solution to provide 12 volts to that wire. Well, all right, guys, wrapping up the editing on this video, and apparently for some reason the camera decided not to do or not to record the outro or last segment of this video. So here I am recording the outro a couple weeks later. One nice thing about that is now I can say I've had 2 weeks on this radio and it is working phenomenal. Very, very good. For the price that it was, so far I'm super happy with it. I know this video was a long video. I don't want to bore you guys, but I've made this video before and there were so many questions down in the comments on little things that I didn't include because I was trying to make the video shorter. So hopefully this video answered every single question anybody could possibly have about the install of a double DIN on these trucks. It's not a super complicated process, but I understand that if you've never done it before, it could be a little bit intimidating. If you're looking to upgrade your sound system, start with the double DIN radio. The factory speakers aren't phenomenal by any means, but just upgrading the stereo itself makes a huge difference on the sound quality of your truck. Not to mention you get all the nice features of the new radio, Apple CarPlay or Android CarPlay, the touchscreen, you can pull up maps, you got wireless calling, all the different stuff. It's just nice to have the upgraded radio. So if you're looking at upgrading your sound system, definitely start with the head unit. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm going to include the links to all the different products I showed here. I'm not saying this radio is the best on the market by any means, but so far it seems like a really good budget option, and the other stuff is all what it is. If you are going to buy any of the stuff that I showed, I would love if you guys bought through the links. It doesn't cost you guys anything more, and it does give a little bit of kickback to the channel, so I can kind of keep producing content like this. So that's a great way for you guys to help support the channel, and it gets you guys the same exact stuff at the same price. It just takes a little money out of Bezos's pocket and puts it into mine. So I will always link this kind of stuff below if I think it's a quality product. And so far, very happy with all this stuff. I guess, as always, if there's any questions you guys have, leave it down below. I'm hoping I answered everything. But if you guys have any questions, leave it down below. Or if you guys out there have any other tips that you think I missed, feel free to leave it down below for anybody else that is watching. Again, I know this is a long video. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate it. If you did make it this far and you found the video helpful, do me a huge favor and hit the thumbs up button. It makes a big difference on the channel and allows more people to see kind of content like this. I got a lot of stuff in the works right now. I think I have 3 other videos on backlog that I'm working on editing right now, so a lot more stuff coming in the pipeline. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot of stuff building this truck, working on the property, working on the farm, whole lot of stuff. I got a hunting trip coming up that I might film for you guys. Hopefully I can get a nice buck down. We will see, but just very, very busy. So this video is plenty long. I always appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys can get out there, get some work done on whatever project you're working on. I'll catch you guys on the next video.